Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 25 of Hard Knock Hawks. This is the podcast where we talk about our favorite team, the Atlanta Hawks, and sometimes other stuff in the NBA too. I'm Anthony, along with my three other hosts, Chris, Leon, and Marco. Today, we are going to be discussing the Hawks going 1-2 during the past week with their two losses against the Los Angeles Clippers at home and the Brooklyn Nets on the road, plus their big blowout win against the Charlotte Hornets in Charlotte. Fun fact, this is the first time the Hawks have swept the Hornets in 7 years, which is a pretty big deal considering how infamous this team has been when facing the Hornets. Currently, the Hawks are 33 and 36 at the seventh seed with a 1.5 game lead above the Orlando Magic. This also means they are currently leading their division, which is the Southeast Division. Although this doesn't really mean anything for the playoffs generally, it's just nice to have that division title in the end if we do manage to win it. The Hawks currently have the 18th ranked offense and the 17th ranked defense. And for one of our topics today, I'll start with you, Marco. There has been a lot of criticism, I think, during the past 2 weeks about Quin Snyder. Generally, I would think more about the process of this team, about the rotations of players being played, and how they're just managing things all together. Generally, what do you think about Quin Snyder's job so far of managing the Hawks this season?
Um, I I truly believe that Quinn is doing a decent job with this team. I feel like this is the most consistent this team has been, and even with the roster he has had in the past, he still tried to elevate that roster to the best abilities and all that good stuff. You could argue his rotations are like really questionable at times, like running Clint and Niang at the same time, or getting smaller when the team next to you is clearly beating you in areas where you need to be big and things like that. Um, but as it comes to his offensive scheme and system, I think this is some of the best offense the Hawks have had, while still only having, as of now, only having one primary ball handler. Since Jalen is hurt, the offense is still flourishing in his ways, and he's actually gotten everybody involved on defense. Shit, he even got Trey. Trey's contest is a little iffy, but he even has Trey trying on defense. He has certain people trying on defense. So I think Quinn has a system where everybody can really actually buy in on both sides. I know some people would rather have Nate McMillan at this point because we went to a Eastern Conference final under Nate, but won't provide the context of why we went to that Eastern Conference final under Nate. But I feel like Quinn gets one more. Quinn gets one more real system, real off season, real year with this team, and Landry and whatever our own Tony, lets a team build like we have been building. I feel like Quinn will really open his bag of tricks next season. How about we go to you, Leon?
Well, I think you did a great job, Marco, explaining it to the best of anybody's ability. Quinn has been pretty good. I think that the word that Chris likes to use, and I kind of agree, is he's quite rigid in his rotations at times. That's why they're called rotations. If you want him to, you know, try to win every game, but also play the young guys, but also play the guys you want him to play. He's though all those things just don't go together. So you got to ask yourself, okay, Niang is an NBA player. Yes, there are times when Niang shouldn't be on the floor, but guess what? We don't have a choice. Oh, you can just put Moji on. Okay, then you're gonna be complaining that the offense isn't scoring because even though Mo's talented, he just doesn't have it on offense yet. It's just a fact. If you're gonna have obviously you're gonna get it back on defense. Niang's gonna give you the offense, but that's only if he's shooting. If he's not shooting, it's But you can't just like it's like okay, Niang missed two threes. He's not gonna play the rest of the game. Really, it's still a great shooter. You're just gonna like expect him to just like not stay hot. I mean, to stay cold. Um, what the issues that we're experiencing right now, to me, are personnel based. They're Jalen's hurt based, and Clint's old based. So finally, we can get that off the team. Jalen will be back next season. Like we always said, this year was about the development of the young light skins. That's Dyson, that's Zach, that's Jalen, and they have all developed in ways that have been positive to the future outlook of the team. So it's all about next season. It's all I know. I know y'all heard that from me last season, but guess what? It's still facts because Operation Four New Starters is finally finished. So it's complete. So next year will be their first year, starting from day one, and now we're gonna see what's really going on. Chris.
Yeah, to answer Ant's question, yeah, Quin's done a great job. The Hawks record since the trade deadline is 11-9. Quinn's getting a lot of heat in the last 2 weeks. Hawks record the last 2 weeks is 6-2. Since they brought in some NBA players and been able to shoot the ball, they've been playing a lot more consistently. A lot of their issues at the beginning of the season were that they couldn't shoot. They could get some stops, but if you can't score, it's difficult to win games, regardless if you have Trae Young navigating clutch moments or not. To Leon's point, yeah, most of people's criticisms, if you want to dig deep enough, come down to personnel, which is a front office issue. Quinn is going to coach every game to win the games. I know people want to see Zach in the fourth quarter. He's not going to be exactly a helpful player in the fourth quarter every night. There's some matchups maybe where it would work, but realistically, that's just not their plan right now. So they're really not going to push him as much as you want. The whole idea of a plan is that you stick to it. I think if you're going to play it by ear, you don't have a plan. And I think in the long run, year one for Zach doesn't really matter when you're talking about a guy you want on your team for 10 to 12 years, right? You're looking at the long term. We just had to trade a forward whose knee gave out on him because of what we were putting him through early on. Obviously, he was a bit older, more developed, but still those early injuries cost him a lot in terms of his mobility, and that's something we really want to preserve for Zach. So I think sticking to the plan is fine. He's getting plenty of minutes, and those reps are going to be valuable in the next season. I've said plenty of time that this season doesn't matter, and really doesn't. I think when it comes down to Quinn and the players, right, they're going to go into every game trying to win because that's what you do as a player and as a coach. You're trying to establish habits and teach your players how to win. When it comes down to front office, right, they are not tanking, but they also have not gone for it. So Quinn doesn't have this roster that is completely matchup proof. They have guys that have some glaring weaknesses because of where they are right now in the build. You have this team that's built for Trae Young and Jalen Johnson to touch the ball 100 times a game, and you lost a guy that you were having touched the ball 100 times. So things were going to be a little bit rough when Jalen went down. Since then, they've righted the ship, man. 11-9 since the trade deadline. I think that's the line of demarcation for me. I've been kind of keeping an eye on that. They had a win streak, I think, starting on the after the March 4th, where they won 4 in a row. And everybody should have been feeling good, but I think they were mad because Zach just didn't play enough. And I understand wanting to see your number one pick a lot, but I think if you want to see him a lot, you'll see him a lot next year and the year after that and the year after that. I think his minutes will only grow as his skill grows. The reason you don't see him in the fourth quarter, to those that maybe are wondering why, is because fourth quarter defense is a lot more one-on-one. Everybody stays at home. You don't want to get caught leaving people wide open. You don't want to get caught in rotations. That's why you see a lot of ISO ball. People don't help off of shooters unless they're just god-awful. Right, and Zach isn't god awful, so they're gonna stay at home. They're gonna chase. They're gonna run him off the 3-point line, and Zach is not exactly great at handling ball pressure right now. I think as that ability grows for him, you'll see him in pressure situations more and more as he gets stronger. So for me, yeah, Quinn has done a good job this year. He hasn't had all of his pieces at the beginning of the year. He didn't have shooting. Now he doesn't have Jalen. Hopefully next year you see Jalen and shooting, and we can really evaluate him on a more critical basis. But I think right now it's just kind of unfair and a bit ridiculous. A silly conversation, in my opinion. It's just people that are opportunists that pounce on any loss to get some narratives off. Obviously, not everyone that's upset with the rotations falls into that category. But I mean the people that have been criticizing Quinn for years now, as if one, he didn't even put in a system until this season. He was pretty vocal about that. Last season was more about evaluation. They didn't really change too much. I think they were trying to get the guys to buy in a bit more into what they wanted to do, but he kind of let guys still play their games. This season is the first season where they really changed the roster and installed everything. So you're seeing the new Quinn Hawks now. I think this year, next year is when you really want to start counting wins. I would say their evaluation process for everyone truly probably began at the beginning of this season. And from here on, you'll see how that goes. So for me, Quinn, a solid B+ for what he's got right now. What do you think, Ant?
God, I'm going to seem like such a contrarian compared to everyone else here. So
that is shocking. That is. I'm never you a contrarian. What?
Okay.
Are you gonna boot
whatever.
Me from the
Whatever. Okay. Anyway, what I was about to say before Chris interrupted me.
I'm sorry for derailing.
I feel that for the most part, Quinn's process has been good and been much better than I think people have generally expected. I praise things like things like shot quality and how motion based and how we're just generating so many more assists than previous years, stuff like that. But there are times where with Quinn, it's just like, why is Quinn just being so rigid? Like you mentioned, Chris, with certain things, and it just baffles me sometimes. It's just, and I feel like because of that rigidness, it just costs us a bunch of these games sometimes. And I think a perfect example of this is with the Nets game, right? Like the Nets game, for example, that was one of our worst losses of the entire season, in my opinion. Before I actually go further into that, I will give credit to the Nets because the Nets do play really hard. Joey Fernandez is a really great coach, and I think he coaches them in a way that manages to like just basically outperform like all expectations despite the record. So, but despite that, like we had a double-digit lead at halftime, basically. And there were some like really questionable decisions, like stuff like just playing Don Barlow so much, just having no real perimeter defender in the game, and just having only Terrence Mann be that guy, despite the fact that he's not great defensively. It's just stuff like that just makes me question sometimes his process, and anyone can just interrupt me and stuff. But like, it's just sometimes I feel like that Quinn's so used to his rigidness, his systems, and what he wants to do that he just refuses to change. And that's something that I think we criticize Nate about. And I feel like that could just sometimes be applied to Quinn as well. But then again, you could also say that like we still just don't have the personnel. But I feel like
none of the power forwards who are currently available are going to save you. They're not going to save you. George Niang is not going to save you. Mo G is not going to save you. So you put the more experienced one on the floor and you hope that he is shooting 5 of 7 that night.
That's fair. Because I mean, that's what I was trying to say. Because like a part of it is just because Jalen's not here, and we don't really have like any real backup depth. But
Well,
Like, okay,
so here's my thing.
go ahead.
Is
Yeah,
that,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Chris.
My thing is that any random loss, like kind of like I've said, this season doesn't matter, which means any random loss doesn't matter. Like you stick to your plan. Like if you lose a random game, it's like that sucks, but they're still going to make the play in. They're still going to be able to do everything they can. Like that's the thing about an 82 game season. Sometimes shit happens, right? And it sucks. But right now they're not scrambling to win every game. I'm sure there's some nights they might push Zach if they really want to and like they feel an obligation to try to win. But like I said, like I talked about tanking before and how like it's a front office thing, it's not a coaching thing or a player thing because they don't try to lose these games. They're trying to win. Like he's legitimately trying to win, but there might be some limitations on how much he even can play Zach. We don't know how many minutes he's allowed to give Zach night to night. So it's tough to like even criticize him. I don't think Zach was going to change much. There's certain matches, like some of these power forwards, Zach's not going to stop some of these guys. Like you can put him on there. Like I know it's like maybe you can see what happens, but like I mean that's like hope, power, friendship, hope. Like he's just a kid, and like he's not going to save you, like Leon said. There's no power forward that's just going to like magically save you. Maybe he gets hot, but maybe George Niang gets hot. Right, so it sucks they lost, but I mean, you stick to your process. You've been winning games with it. Next season, if Zach is like playing 30 minutes a night and randomly gets benched and we lose a game and he only plays 20 minutes, yeah, I will. I told y'all I'll get my pitchforks out after they expand his minutes. But for now, the plan is the plan. Like it sucks some nights. It's gonna suck. It's gonna hurt, but you stick to it because in the long run it pays off, right? That's the whole idea. You don't want to be some Embiid that misses like 2 years because they get hurt, and then like you're managing that shit for the rest of his career. Sorry, Spotify. But yeah, I mean that's my thing. Like it's long term with Zach. It's not short term. It sucks. You're gonna lose some games because of it right now, and this season doesn't matter, so I don't really care. Like night to night, like obviously I don't want to just like lose 60 games, but like
but I mean we're not though, because I mean we're still the 7th seed. We have the Southeast Division. We could win the Southeast Division despite of it all, right? And we're probably gonna talk about that later in a second. So I mean, despite like my criticisms and complaints, like if it just leads to it being better in the future, then I mean it really doesn't matter, right? So I guess my concern is that like you mentioned example, like I'm scared that if he does this now, like what if he just starts where we do have like a fully healthy roster, you know, he just starts doing these like decisions with a fully healthy roster. I'm just worried about that in the future. But
I think that right now, again, and I'll let you get into it in a second, Marco, is like people's thoughts on it are so rigid because it's usually this conversation usually has to do with, as of late, some combination of Niang, Moji, and Ricochet.
Yeah. It has been. Yeah.
Today's, just so we're clear, today's Atlanta Hawks forward room is George Niang, Zachary Ricochet, and Muhammad Gay. Okay. So you got two young guys, one who with good feel and defensive instincts, the other one with defensive instincts and not great feel, who doesn't always know what he's doing on the court, and an older guy who knows what he's doing, but when you're a G-Wagon, sometimes it doesn't matter. You just can't park everywhere. You can't park everywhere if you got a G-Wagon, man. It's just what it is. So people think of it as, George Niang messed up because he was the low man and the possession didn't go well and somebody got an easy bucket of the basket. Okay. It started because somebody beat their man. One. So it didn't start with him. It ended with him, but didn't start with him. And some of the deficiencies that Niang has defensively, Moji can't cover up. But there's also certain things that Moji does from the mental standpoint on the defensive end of the floor that are rough, right? And when we play teams with real point guards or real creators or 10-year vets that know that a young player is going to do that stupid thing, like help early, help late, just get backdoored, like it's yes, Mo, generally speaking, has the physical tools to overcome that a lot of the time. But like real lead primary ball handler creators on good teams, they take advantage of that easily. It's a cat and mouse game with the second level, and he is the second level. So, and then on offense, like he's fully dependent on others to get his offense, unless he just gets O boards, and even then he's not strong enough to go up as strong as one dude doesn't have great hands. Is just not. Again, it's just personnel. Bro. All of you who are mad, you're just mad that Jalen's hurt. And I'm mad too. Marco, Polo, Marco. Polo.
Yeah, I agree with everything y'all said, man. You know, you can't. At the end of the day, it is personnel. Like I don't want to play Mo that long. I don't want to play Niang that long. But we really have no
I
other person.
mean, the longer he plays, the more pizza he buys. So
you're right.
your tip stuff.
Oh my
He's
God.
20 after the Hornets game, so you know you're right.
Crazy
But,
work.
But no, it's like you have to play the guys you have. A lot of people like you complain. A lot of fans complain about Niang not doing this, such and such doing that. I promise you, y'all will be more mad if we put Garrison Matthews back on that floor for more than 20 minutes. It's just stuff like that. Like you have to be happy with what you have. Because even at the deadline, Hawks realize that they can't really replace Jalen's production or what Jalen brings to the team, but you can go get more people that can somewhat help this team to at least still get at a decent rate while still trying to develop this team.
We got
as
more
we're trying to
shooting
build.
because we need more shooting. So I mean that's good, right?
So
And
it's
we
like
got forward.
exactly.
So
So you know, again, it's personnel. You got to do what you got to work with what you got to work with. I feel like a lot of we didn't really have these complaints because a lot of the complaints comes from the power forward position, and we didn't really have a lot of these complaints back in the day because JC was usually available. So this is it kind of sucks that Jalen is not here. But again, like Chris was also saying, the season doesn't really matter. You just want to keep the same message, the same goal, everything apart. You want to develop these players so next year when you're really trying to look to compete, they won't be new. They won't be green to anything they're gonna see. They'll be more versed in what they're good at. So I feel like being mad about the rotations is kind of like a two-way street.
well, yeah, I mean, yeah, just and also I think a part of me is it's just as a fan, and I'll just fully admit this. It's just as a fan, I just want to just see certain players more as well. Because I mean, I just don't like seeing Risa Shea, for example, just get benched after just not playing that much. Because like I'm gonna give that Nets game example again. For whatever reason, he didn't play that many minutes in the second quarter. I gotta check again just to make sure. Like that was an example I was gonna talk about again. I know you're gonna say it again. Uh, like it's just sometimes I feel like he does manages it weird, but like you guys said, like it's not like he's gonna like just save the team. It's just sometimes I just feel maybe he could just manage it a little better, maybe, but then again, like it's hard to like screw like a screw in with a hammer, you know. So I mean, it's just
No,
I don't
I
know.
mean,
It's
here's the
just
thing. If Zach hadn't been stopping that guy for the first 3 quarters, he's not just
yeah,
going to magically start stopping him in the fourth.
yeah.
So, I mean, it kind of is what it is some nights.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it just is what it is right now at this point. I mean, it's just gonna be for me. It's just gonna be interesting to see what happens next season with a hopefully fully healthy roster. Because by then we should just have like actual more forwards this time, especially if we do like draft more people. If we draft one or two other people, so we'll see. But now I want to move on to our next and last topic, and it's who would you rather face in the playoffs? So I'm going to give a little context here. So as I mentioned before, the Hawks are 33 and 36. They are the 7th seed. The Orlando Magic are 32 and 38. They're the 8th seed. The Miami Heat are on a 9-game losing streak and are the 10th seed right now. And the Bulls are the 9th seed. So if the play-in happened right now, the Hawks would have 2 home games as the 7th seed. So with that in mind, if we win the play-in right now, we would face the Celtics. If we lose the first play-in game and win the second one, we would face the what's the name again? The Cavaliers, Cleveland Cavaliers. Yep. So from your perspective, and anyone can just go first, who would you rather face, the Boston Celtics or the Cleveland Cavaliers?
I hope everybody wants to face the Cavs first round. And I'm gonna keep my shit short and sweet. The Cavs are very so it's a real argument for the Celtics there too. But just based on recent years and based off how we've gotten done dirty. And with the lack of Jalen, I don't know. You kind of do want the Cavs first. Because, no. I got this. Because the Cavs are I'm saying this wholeheartedly with my chest too. The Cavs are very known playoff frauds.
I don't know.
No, don't say you don't know it. The last 3 seasons, they have been very good in the regular season. Top 4, top 3 seed each time. But when they get to them offs, they garbage. They're the easiest team to. Now that could have just been JB Bickerstaff. Maybe Kenny Atkinson's going to come in here and do some new shit that they ain't never seen. But they also got a guy we know on that team that is not the playoff riser that we think he is. Mr. B. Hunt is not scaring me in the playoffs. I'm not aware. Look, he might be having that season now. He might be doing this in the regular season. I'm not really worried about that. I want the Cavs. We'll take them to 7.
Well, Marco is very passionate. I think that we're going to get cooked either way, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to keep it a band with you, bro. Like, Evan Mobley has arrived. Call a spade a spade. Like, we don't have nobody for that guy right now. We don't. We just, Cavs are frauds. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, that chain is so fake. Like, they neck turned green last night. It got a little wet at the end of the game, and then froze that green on that neck.
To be fair, someone is gonna say it's like mid-March, so I mean they may not.
It's for sure. It's for sure silly season, and I am a silly season enjoyer for sure. I am a silly season enjoyer. However, historically speaking, the Cavs chain be fake. Like the chain be fake. I don't know. Like, what do you mean? If the chain do be fake, bro? We just don't match up well with them because they have a 7-footer and a 6'9" guy with a 7'5" wingspan, and we have Onyeka Okongwu and Moji and George Niang. So it's just not like they have so much firepower that everybody can't be cold, and we don't have enough right now. So I would have liked to see them if we were with our peanut butter and our jelly, but now we just got one, so it's like, if you need help, call 11110. We just got 110 right now. So.
Oh Jesus, I was wondering where you were going with that. Okay, at least you brought it home.
No, we got 1110. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So.
I didn't want to cut you off. Did you have more?
We're gonna get kicked by either one. We don't have nobody for Tatum. We don't got nobody for Mobley. Like, there's no weak side rim protection besides Moji, and it's just gonna kill your offense. But we're cooked.
Yeah, 18 minutes of Moji is probably not getting you through. I don't know if he's even playing in the playoffs. We'll see.
I mean,
there's not many other bodies. It's Who do I want between the 1 seed and the 2 seed? I mean, personally, I don't have anything like. Well, I hate. It's always F Boston, so I mean, I do hate them. I think there's personal agendas to where if we were fully healthy, I would want the Cavs. But yeah, to Leon's point, it doesn't really matter. I guess I would rather have Cleveland just because you have Dyson, who's way bigger than both guards. For Cleveland, they don't really have much creation outside of those guys that worries me. I think they can expose Trey like the least defensively just because they don't have too much wing creation, dynamism. Mobley's kind of getting. I mean, Trey's not going to end up on Mobley ever, so it's not really a worry. For Trey, anyway, for the team, yeah, it's tough because you don't have a power forward. To beat those teams, and most teams in today's NBA, you kind of need that big dog power forward that can kind of switch onto multiple positions, give you some finishing and space the floor a little bit. That's a really important position, and when you don't have Jalen, you're trying to piece that together with like 3 different guys, and all of them do something different that's like almost Jalen, but none of them really can kind of fill that void. So you're kind of exposed regardless. I do think if you do have Jalen, you could expose the Cavs because you give them the similar matchup that the Celtics are going to hit them with. It's because they do have Tatum, who can switch on to multiple positions and create his own shot at the 4, so he can bring Mobley out or force really weird rotations for them if they want to try to keep Mobley out of Tatum ISO. So yeah, it sucks that Jalen's out because I think you could really give the Cavs a scare. Obviously, Donovan Mitchell has a type of firepower that can elevate them, given like the talent and depth they have overall as a group. I think they're more experienced, so they would have the edge. But man, I think Jalen and like the amount of shooting and the vets you bring in, it would be very interesting. I mean, the Hawks are going to be a very tough team
look, man,
next year if they're healthy. So.
Playoff start, man. Zach gonna take them weights off his ankles like he Rock Lee. Okay. Hey, I'm telling you.
Also did that.
You know, I just have to throw this in here before Marco goes. I'm watching Jonas Valanciunas with the Kings, and I feel extremely vindicated that we should have tried to loop him into that freaking deal and got him from the Pelicans. But it's cool. I'm over it.
I'm fine with the Giant. Yeah.
Oh, you were about to say something, Marco?
No. You know,
you want Jonas now? You want Jonas Valanciunas?
It was just a body, just to have a body. He's better than that double C guy on the team.
That is a big dude, man. That's a big dude. Like you can't you can try, but you can't reasonably go small with Jonas Valanciunas on the floor unless you're like the Warriors. He's just massive. Oh, such great screens too, man. What a guy. All right.
I was gonna say, I'm also with Chris. Did you say the Celtics?
I said Cleveland because of Dyson.
I'm gonna go with Leon. I think it's the Celtics. I will say this too.
I did not say that.
I thought you said. Which one did you say?
I did not give an answer. To be clear.
Why you didn't give an answer?
Because like we're gonna get cooked either way. Like,
but the point is, okay. Oh my god. Okay.
Who would I rather want to? Did I say Celtics? If I said Celtics, I'll stand on that.
Okay, never mind. I probably wasn't paying attention. Okay.
I mean, like Tatum's gonna score 40 every game, but whatever.
I'll stand alone and say the Celtics. The reason is, even though we don't have like a power forward, except really just Mo and Niang, is because with the exception of like really Tatum, every Celtic starter has been playing worse this year than their championship year. Pritchard, yeah, he's probably going to win 6th man of the year, but Dyson, we have like enough defenders to just lock that up. So theoretically, if we could upset them, especially with the way they're playing right now, they have been, I think, despite their record, they have played, I think, pretty inconsistently at times. So I think there is a tiny open door, right? There's a crack in the door that could be opened if the Hawks did take the Celtics, especially because, like I mentioned before, a bunch of the Celtics players have been playing worse as of late. So,
man, the whole team been playing with the ankle weights on like they Rock Lee, bro. Like,
man, Rock Lee lost in that fight. So
he did lose to that fight. He did lose in that
he did
fight.
lose.
But guess what? Gar is in the West. Gar is definitely in the West. He's not in the East.
So he did lose that fight, yeah. But he did have Gar shook a little bit.
He did. He had him. Boy, he woke him up. But Shikaku brought it home, bro.
We'll win 2 games. We'll win 2, like last time we did it. So
probably, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll make some noise.
But take us home, man.
All right. So the Hawks' next 4 games are going to be Golden State on Saturday at home, a Sunday 76ers at home, the Rockets on Tuesday in their arena in Houston, and Thursday we're going to Miami. And those are the 4 games. So what do you guys think is going to be the record for those 4 games? Thinking.
I'm sorry, run through those again.
It's a back-to-back with Golden State and the 76ers, and then the Rockets, an away game with the Rockets and Miami.
I don't know why.
Yeah, 2-2.
Yeah. You should realistically go. Warriors won't have Curry, to my knowledge. So you would realistically try to go 3-1, but no one else is definitely going to be 2-2.
Is Curry out?
He was out. He was out last game.
Okay. So I'm going to say 2-2. Don't say 4-0.
You shouldn't lose that heat. You shouldn't lose that heat in 76ers. I know that.
Yeah, I think those 2 games are.
You actually cannot afford to lose that heat games.
Yeah, I mean, if they lose it, I think it's okay-ish as long as they don't lose the Orlando games at this point.
They legitimately the only 2 games left that they really have to win. Like, not saying those can't be their only 2 wins. You feel me?
Yeah.
But like, isn't that the last game and like the 4th to last game or something like that?
Yeah, it is.
Right. They're basically at the end of the schedule. So we'll know when we play them the first time how dire it is. But back to back with the Sixers. When's the Houston game?
The Houston game is on Tuesday.
In the Miami game?
It starts Thursday.
Okay, 3-1. 3-1.
Oh wow.
I say you realistically want to go 3-1. You should only the only team in this stretch you should lose to is Houston.
I just see us going 2-2, especially if Steph Curry decides to make a surprise comeback.
It was never 2-2 for me. It was between 3-1 and 4-0. But that's just me, man. Sacramento Bulls fan.
Yeah, shout out to our Kings who are currently up 5 on this podcast recording. So we'll see what happens with that pick.
Just make it through, man. The Mavs not catching you. The only teams you got to worry about is the Suns, brother. That's it.
Just give me Rasheer for me. I just need my 6'9". Y'all are going to give me a midget center, then 6'9", 7'5" wingspan, power forward.
Do not call your center.
Shoots 40% from 3. It's like if AJ Griffin could block shots
Well,
and track ball handlers.
Well, okay, he could block shots, but he definitely could not track no ball handlers.
Come say something on the podcast.
But with that, we are gonna end the podcast here. We will see you all next week, and hopefully the Hawks go and win a bunch of games. So we will see you then.
Kaka.
Ah.
That's
The
crazy.
hell was that?